Hey everybody, I am here now to talk about technique for one reason. I get students coming to me who have been learning by themselves or from another teacher for a short time, and they tell me they get wrist pain when playing. And there are some usually simple reasons why this is happening. It's not just overplaying, it's not over practicing. If done correctly, you actually cannot over practice the piano. There is pretty much no way you can do that. You should be able to practice 8 hours a day without having wrist pain. So, I don't expect you to do that though. No 8 hours a day unless you're a concert pianist. All right, the first thing I see is this. Person gets up to the piano and they come into my studio, or I see them online and they're either already seated like this online, or they come into my studio and they grab the bench and they pull it right up to the piano. That's already a first indication for me of what's going wrong. You're sitting way too close to the piano. You cannot play this close to the piano. I don't care what professional you see doing this. Don't worry about them. We need to worry about your technique. So, this is a problem. Next problem that I see is buckled knuckles. Same thing. Every teacher tells you, watch these knuckles, make sure they're not buckling. But these aren't going to be the knuckles I'm talking about. It's not these knuckles, it's these knuckles. They need to not do this. You want to know? I see this so often. I see this in so many students. And then what happens when when we do this? Watch my wrist. Notice that here I have kind of a straight line here. As soon as I do this, my wrist kind of pops up a little bit. It causes strain all around this part of my hand, and it causes strain in the wrist here. And this is not proper position. What I find is a lot of students do this because they're trying so hard to play on the tips of the fingers, when I, even as a teacher, need to be focusing on this knuckle as much as that knuckle with my students. All right, next thing. I just said we're sitting too close. Let's back it up a little bit. Now, how do I know I'm sitting at the right distance? I've been doing this for a long time, so I just know where to sit at my piano. If you don't, first thing, don't worry about where you sit on your bench. Who cares where you sit on the bench? I don't care if you turn it sideways and straddle the bench, although I'd rather you didn't. You might need to use these pedals. We want to be the right distance. So, arm out comfortably. Don't move your shoulder back or forward, just in a comfortable position. Straighten your arm out. If you're double jointed, don't do this. Just straight and comfortable. Your knuckles, when loose or in a fist, should come right near the backs of the black keys. That gets you the right distance from the piano. If you are the right distance from the piano, you have more range of motion around the piano. So from this distance, height is also important. We need to make sure we are the right height. If you are too high or too low, you can cause wrist strain just from the fact that you might be playing like this or playing like this. If it's too low, you need this wrist to be straight. So how do I know I'm at the right height? Just kind of look at my arm here. This is at nearly a straight line to the piano. Luckily, I'm the exact right height for this kind of bench. These benches were made for people that were between about, I think 5'10" and 6 foot. Unfortunately for everyone that's not. So add some cushions to it, get a shorter bench. Whatever you need to do. If you're 7 foot tall, get a shorter bench. If you're 5 foot tall, put some cushions on your bench. Whatever you can do to boost yourself up or lower yourself down. Get an adjustable bench. Adjustable benches are wonderful. They have handles on the side that can move the bench up and down based on your height. I'm just lucky that I'm the right height for this, so I don't need it. All right, so if I'm doing this, how is this also going to help me? It's going to allow me to be able to play faster, easier, more relaxed. That took no effort. It was relaxed. If I'm doing this, that is awful. awful. It's not even. I'm not playing my hands together. It already hurts. I mean, it's just not something we want to do. So once you get to bigger pieces, see how I'm doing this is just the beginning of a piece. This, fingers are straight, knuckles are straight, but they are not buckling. I'm not doing this. I'm not trying to bend these fingers. Bending the fingers is not necessary. Just don't buckle these knuckles and these knuckles. No need to be... See what happens to my hand when I try to bend? This hurts. Alright, so just a few tips. If you still have issues, if you find that your wrist is hurting, one of your wrists or both your wrists, I can possibly help you individually if you leave me a message down on YouTube here, or you can email me. Go to my website. You can leave a message on my website. You can email me, and we can talk about it and figure out what's going on with you specifically that's causing the problem.